Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Beyond Threat podcast by Bleckmann. The podcast where we always take a deep dive into what's developing, what are the trends in fashion and lifestyle, and then predominantly in the supply chain and logistics portions. Today we will be taking a deep dive into logistics strategy in fashion and lifestyle. And for that reason, I am joined today by my very own colleague, BD manager in transportation, Ruud Mars.
Thank you for having me, Erik.
Absolutely.
I'm thrilled to be here.
No, I'm great to have you, man. And Tapestry's Peter Schreuder. Also, thank you very much for being here today.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Yeah. To start off right away, we're covering transport, we're covering logistics, and how today's challenges, but also developments, are urging us to look at it in a more strategic way than only operationally. So, to kick things off, Peter, if you would please be so kind, give us a brief overview of who you are, what you do, and how the transport strategy within Tapestry has shaped your international growth as a brand.
Yeah. Thanks, Erik. So, my name is Peter Schreuder. I'm the Senior Director for Fulfilment and Supply Chain for Tapestry. And maybe good to explain Tapestry. Tapestry is a house of brands. It's at the moment there are two brands, Coach and Kate Spade.
Not the smallest.
Not the smallest. Coach being the oldest and by far the largest as well. Yeah. So, an American company. Coach exists since 1941. Quite an old brand. Quite large in the US. Also well developed in APAC, and Europe was the kind of emerging market. Yeah. So we started Europe kind of late. Yeah. In fact, till 2013 has been a distribution model for Europe. And after that year, we decided to go direct and starting our own stock, our own fulfillment organization in Europe. And selecting a partner that could support us with that. So after some RFPs, RFIs, etc., we chose Bleckmann as an established fashion and lifestyle partner. Yeah. And since then they have been helping us grow the business, which went quite rapidly. We're quite.
I think that's already 13 years ago. Huh?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I joined in 2014, so a little bit later. But have been helping kind of building up the business entirely. So started with just a couple of stores in Europe, a few wholesale accounts. But nowadays we have almost 100 stores for both brands. Across Europe, quite an established number of wholesale accounts. Yeah. But also an entire e-com organization for both our own .com offering, but also marketplaces.
Yep. Truly omnichannel.
Absolutely. And a couple of other things happened as well, but we can talk about that, like more the challenges that we've come across in that period.
So, Ruud, the listeners will likely have heard you before. You've been in the studio before. At the time, you were still the director of transport, the operational, the solution side of things. Yep. Right now, you've come over to the dark side, to business development.
Indeed.
And I thank you very much for that. Can you give a brief introduction of who you are and why you made that transition?
So Ruud Mars, being with the company now for around about 6 years. And the first 5.5 years, we've built, the organizational setup in transport, but also the whole IT landscape to support this. Yeah. And the vision that I had in my head 5.5, 6 years ago, to be market leader in omnichannel transport with a state-of-the-art supporting IT infrastructure. Yeah. That's what we have built, but since that is only in my head, and not in the head of the organization, and also not in the heads of people outside of the organization. I'm now focusing on the business development to put that really in the picture.
Right.
So all the abilities we have as Bleckmann at the moment, that needs to go out.
Right. And then to give some background, dear listener, dear viewers. So Bleckmann does not confine itself to a single or a small number of carriers and couriers partners to work with. No, we want to make sure that we offer a menu of services, service levels, carriers, couriers that the brand can choose from, so that the overall, I think the customer message, so the focus on the customer is always exactly in line with their strategy, their wishes. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So guys, you work very closely together for many years already. So when you went and pondered about the right setup for cross-border transportation, what are the key hurdles or the key projects that you have been working on throughout the years?
Well, it's maybe I can jump into that a little bit. I think when we started, the world still looked relatively simple. So a lot of things have changed in the meantime. Like I think one of our biggest challenges has been Brexit, for sure. So that was something that we haven't chosen for. Nobody did. So it was something that we had to deal with. And maybe one step back, how we were organized. So we have always been centralized in the Netherlands. One DC for Coach. At least later on, when we acquired Kate Spade, they had a more setup in the UK. So on either side, and a more brand specialized DC structure. So with Brexit, that completely changed, because we had a lot of cross-border traffic, UK being quite an important market, especially for Coach. So we had to deal suddenly with a lot of customs formalities, lost a lot of speed to market, etc. So that was challenging. I think Bleckmann really did a great job in coming up quickly with solutions. I remember that some of the 3PLs didn't want to go to UK anymore at all.
They stopped it all.
They stopped
doing business. So so there was a good solution, but still a lengthy solution, and also expensive.
I mean, we had really challenging times at that time, because our partner that went from the Netherlands into UK said, we are Brexit ready. But at the moment we did our first pre or after Brexit shipment, it appeared that they were not ready.
But they couldn't have been ready, because nobody knew what was coming.
Exact. They were not ready at all. But they said we were ready. So goods were stuck at the border. We couldn't deliver. So we did a very fast change in carrier setup, just to support Coach and Kate Spade with a flow to UK that was unburdened.
No, absolutely. So later on, we made some more drastic decisions, like setting us up with a separate DC in the UK and maintaining the DC that we already had in the Netherlands.
We had no way of knowing that we needed that. So COVID was, even though they were talking about it for years on end, it hit us like a thunderstorm, and everybody actually. It's not.
And it still happened overnight, because it was announced, of course, but still you don't know exactly. They were talking about huge congestion at the borders, etc. Which was not that bad after all. But it's I think that Bleckmann definitely has acted as a flexible partner, so that we were able to at least continue business.
Definitely. Good. And that's of course an event that changed the playing field. Quite considerably.
Absolutely, and I think not only for us, but for a lot of other
a lot of brands. I mean, you see,
for everybody.
The consequence of Brexit is that our UK operations grew very, very rapidly. So customers do not want to have the hassle of exporting goods from EU into UK or back. So they operate 2 separate warehouses.
Yeah. It was a huge project for us. The whole footprint was with Bleckmann also in the UK and Bleckmann in the Netherlands, but also multi-brand, so supporting both brands, and then UK really for the UK market, Netherlands for the rest of Europe market, but also splitting the supply chain from the sources. We have a lot of production in the Far East, kind of like Vietnam, Philippines. So we already split the orders for one part to the UK and one part to the Netherlands, just to avoid still a lot of cross-border traffic. But you can imagine that it had a lot of consequences as well for how much do we need to ship to the UK and how much still to the Netherlands. But it has been a good move, and still at the moment, so till now, we're taking a lot of advantage.
Yeah, and the good thing about that, or at least the thing that I like most, I'm the most proud of, is when in those partnership, Tapestry and Bleckmann move closer to each other, and we tend to talk more in terms of root causes and solutions, instead of who to blame, as if we were able to influence Brexit or COVID or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, we team up and we find a way.
Absolutely, but also really cross-border collaboration. Also from our side, we involved all the different departments that are involved. Tapestry internal departments, but also invited Bleckmann stakeholders to those meetings, so that everyone knew exactly what was happening, and that speeded up the conversion very much.
One other challenge, the bankruptcy of our UK partner. We had to overnight bring in a new partner for the UK retail distribution. And retail distribution is not an e-com thing. Now you have to find the right partner for shop deliveries, etc. All the requirements, etc. And I think that we, due to that bankruptcy, have a better partner and a better relationship there.
But that's exactly what I mean. Okay. So even with the best planning, the best strategy, you know as well as I do that a plan only holds up until first contact, as like the American Marines say. And so the plan is a theory, but as soon as you encounter something that is not what you planned for, being able to scope it, seeing it for what it is, and deal with it as a partnership. That's exactly what I mean.
Well, I think, and to your point, I think having a broad base of carriers under your umbrella is very important. It's also from a kind of business continuity perspective, bankruptcy, but also textile. I remember in France we had a similar case after COVID. But also what we see more and more, especially with marketplace partners, is that they require certain carriers to have their preferred carriers.
Indeed.
And then it's beautiful if you have those carriers already contracted so that you can shift quickly.
And when we then use Coach or Tapestry as an example, so Ruud, you have set up the necessary tools. You have set up the necessary expertise even. So what role will we, as a 3PL partner of Tapestry, play in their cross-border operations and their logistics strategy going forward?
For me, the goal from that strategy is always to unburden our customer. Act as an extension of the brand. So we are, as a logistical partner, we are the last moment where there is a connection between the brand and the receiver. Either it's a shop or the home delivery, etc. So we need to have need to act as a extension of the brand. So that's for me the first goal. And by doing that, we unburden with customer service, with the carrier management, with all the IT setup, give them the right information at the right time. Unburden people.
Making it easier to succeed for our partners.
Indeed. They need to concentrate.
It should be very, very smooth smooth journey for customers, especially in e-com. And at the end, you deliver the packages to the customer, so you have an important role in the whole experience and journey, for sure. And also, that's what we see more and more now as well, like setting up more return carriers. Initially, we set it up as one-on-one, because also the onboarding is still quite a piece.
Yeah, it can be.
Which is still something that where I would like to see more speed. You know that, Ruud? The quick conversion of carriers is sometimes really key.
It is.
Also related to business opportunities. But more return carriers, and when you can offer that, it's very easy also for a customer, because they can choose a carrier that's close.
It is not only on outbound but also on returns. It is for me always the WWW principle.
Yeah.
Which carrier, which service, which day.
Absolutely.
Very important for customers that they can choose where they deliver their return. If you have to shop from carrier A in 500 meter distance and carrier B 2 kilometers, then people want to go to shop B.
Yeah. And also from that perspective, so the current footprint that we have, which was kind of triggered by Brexit and the UK, also brought a lot of advantages, like for returns. You can imagine a return from the UK back to the Netherlands is a nightmare.
It's nowadays. A nightmare, yeah.
With all the customs formalities.
Well, and all the costs involved, of course,
absolutely.
With re-importing, exporting.
But also the time involved, because the customer wants to have the credit as quickly as possible when they return something. So speed is also of the essence. And now we can guide, even when it's fulfilled from the Netherlands, we can guide all the returns to the local DC in the UK. And the other way around also for the rest of Europe.
Indeed.
And it can be available much sooner for resale again.
No delays with customs or issues or whatever. So, also a good customer experience.
And okay, so if we take that a step further, so the returns management for the brands, is that... Looking from an operational perspective, is that less and less becoming a pesky part of doing business? Or is it already a strategic element of your overall approach?
Yeah, I think it's collateral damage of doing business. You don't want to have a return, because at the end you want the customer to keep the product.
No, you don't want it, but it's a fact.
It's a fact, and it's a service that you need to offer. I know that more companies are stepping away from returns or guiding it through a kind of different channel for selling it off at a discount, etc. Tapestry is not considering that. We want to keep the products in our supply chain, offer that service to the customers. So that's why the returns processing and speed is really very important.
I mean, returns is really a strategic lever for a brand to sell more, to attract people, and to really make the conversion on the web shop. Yeah. If the returns policy is not hassle-free, people tend not to buy on that particular shop. Again, then they go maybe via a marketplace, but on Coach.com, Coach is making more money than if they sell the same product via a marketplace like Zalando or About You. But if the return policy is not okay, then people tend, we try to do it somewhere else.
As a consumer, which I of course am, and on the other hand, as a BD talking to many companies and companies, I spot the same thing. So not only does it need to be hassle-free, it needs to be rather easy to return your product. It also needs to more and more needs to be focused on circularity. When talking to the brands, it needs to be enabling a maximum of revenue retention, and it needs to be credited very quickly to the existing customer or the returning customer. So I'm with you on that one. It really needs to be seen as a strong part of the overall proposition of a brand. I agree.
Yeah, it's in fact we have some new challenges, and probably it's also related to especially the Coach brand being on fire at the moment, where it's really doing really well. But what we see more and more now is scams counterfeit, but also messing around with returns.
Afraid so.
Which is tricky, but it's okay. It's something that you have to deal with. But also there, it's important that we work together very closely with Bleckmann, because they are the gatekeepers for checking the quality of the product. If it's counterfeit or
we are your hands and eyes on the floor. Absolutely.
Yeah, but also, and that's also important, where Bleckmann can really make a good difference is these practices when they come across that. You can exchange it also between other brands, because everyone has to deal with that. So you have a lot of expertise there that you can share with other customers.
Well, best in class processing, but also trend spotting. And so that we see, hey, one brand is seeing customers returning, I don't know, a brick instead of a shoe. Let's make sure that all operations that are handling returns of footwear are aware. Absolutely.
No, key, really key.
Going forward, guys, because you have been working very closely for years, and it will be for years to come. What's on the agenda? What's on the horizon? What are we going to see in, well, let's say the biggest opportunities to make transport work for brands, turn it into a strategic capability of Tapestry, for example?
One comment from my side, and I know that, and Ruud, you elaborated on that already, with Blue Rock, with more integrated tools, with better tracking capabilities, which is really key for monitoring the performance of transport. And I know that you have a lot of in-house tools also to manage. One thing, what remains important, is that you're also open to other integrators. For example, we have a global contract with Narvar, and even when you could say, hey, Bleckmann has a good tool for Europe, you can imagine from a corporate perspective, they want to leverage these type of global contracts. So still important to...
Narvar being your returns specialist.
Specialist, but also outbound tracking. So the whole track and trace, they're also feeding into our own end-to-end dashboards where we measure perfect order, perfect line. So they play an important role, and then it's really important that you stay connected with those providers and then establish direct communication and lines.
Narvar is not the only platform where we have integrations, but
we have numerous.
Exactly, and we have several integrations and try to have all those platforms available for our customers. I know that we can cover the whole supply chain, and I know that most of the platforms only cover part of that. So what we need to gear up with those platforms is, those additional information we need to start sharing with platforms if customers have the transport on our contract.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, and then we can even complete more info on the customer journey than you nowadays have.
That's great, and it gets more and more complex and more solutions and integrators becoming available. So just to establish those lines, and then you can make a huge added value.
And also huge impact.
Take a lot of burden out of the supply chain for us. Because then it becomes most definitely
smooth. So when I hear you guys and I combine that with my own experience and what I'm seeing in our lovely sector, I have to conclude that open and honest communication, cooperation is really key. And that honesty also compels you to be honest when something does not go as it should. And that is not a direct success.
Absolutely.
Because then together you can overcome that. And you can start marching in the same direction and finish together in a successful way.
Absolutely. And you see that in certain cultures like let's not tell, let's keep it for ourselves. But I always say I don't want to hear from the business that something goes wrong. I want to hear it from you.
From your partner, yes.
Then I can inform the business, because otherwise I'm looking stupid that something goes wrong where I haven't been informed.
So I have really absolutely no problem, most of the time, if I receive an SMS or a WhatsApp or an email saying, dear customer, I'm afraid that something come up, the delivery will be done tomorrow. That to me means I am respected as a customer. I'm important. I've been kept up to speed, and that's a hell of a lot better than waiting for a product which simply doesn't show, and nobody takes any responsibility.
It also shows that you control
that you're in control. Yes, absolutely.
That's one of the most important criteria for a customer is reliability on the messaging.
Yeah,
that is for them key in the whole customer journey. Absolutely, communication, information. Yeah, that avoids a lot of trouble.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm afraid it's already time. So that's all the time we have today. But thank you very much for your valuable insight, Peter, Ruud, and
welcome.
And thank you for being here to portray what a partnership looks like when you work with Bleckmann, when you work with Tapestry. Really good, really good. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Good. So before we actually close for today, I know that some of the brands listening, some of the people listening are getting a bit jealous, so they want in. So if they have any questions, if they want to have any discussions, how would they be able to reach out to you, Peter?
Yeah, I'm open to that.
Yeah. What channels can they use?
Maybe best to kind of coordinate it through you, and then say we can either set up a call or an email, depending on what the subject is. If it's an easy question, then we can do it probably via email or
perfect.
Perfect. No, I'm open to that.
Yeah, Ruud, you're in BD now, so there's no hiding anymore.
No, you know, people can reach me via my LinkedIn profile or via Bleckmann.com.
Yeah. And that's always the case, of course. Regardless of the subject of a podcast or the question that you have, you can always find us through the sales email or the overall corporate email via the website. So once again, thank you very much for being here, guys, and we'll speak soon again, without any doubt. For you, the audience, as always, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that it has been as educational as it has been for me, even though it sounded like just a talk amongst friends. So very good. There are a lot of podcasts coming, so make sure that you click that button, you stay connected to Bleckmann, and you're part of the next Beyond Threats podcast by Bleckmann. Until then, my name is Erik Janssen Steenberg. See you soon.